And now, let us take a moment to settle ourselves, to open our hearts and minds to what worship will bring us this morning. At the sounding of the chimes, let our spirits enter into a different space, a space of worship, of life, of love, of that which we hold sacred. May we take this time to grow our souls. Let us read together the chalice lighting words printed in your order of service as the Wheat Rivers family lights our chalice. We light our chalice in celebration of the wonder of winter. During a time of inactivity and darkness, quiet renewal begins. We experience sparkling lights in the night sky, our neighborhoods, and our homes. For many people and across the generations, those lights have symbolized the values of hope, faith, joy, peace, and love. Let our time together today nurture those values in each of us. And our opening hymn is Return Again, number 1011. I believe, is that in the Teal Handbook? Yeah, Teal Hymn Book. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Please rise as you're willing and or able.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Many of the grown-ups in the room today will know well the story I tell. But like the Christmas carols we all know and sing repeatedly every year, this story is worth repeating. The Bible tells us that when Jesus arrived on this earth, he became a light to everyone around him. He was not only a spiritual light, offering us a way to have a personal relationship with God, but his light shined brightly everywhere he went. Luke chapter 1, verses 78 and 79 says, "Because of and through the heart of tender mercy and loving kindness of our God, a light from on high will dawn upon us and visit us to shine upon and give light to those who sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, to direct and guide our feet in a straight line into the way of peace." When the Great War, which we now call World War I, started in Europe, many young men were eager to fight. Just out of school, they joined up with their schoolmates to go off on an exciting adventure. War seemed glorious in the fall of 1914, when young men from the British Empire went to France to fight against young men from the German Empire. It did not take long for the new soldiers to discover the realities of war. Both sides dug trenches in the ground a few hundred feet from each other in France and in Belgium. Between the trenches was a flat open space called no man's land. Young men hid in the trenches day after day as gunfire came from snappers or artillery on one side or the other. To lift your head up out of a trench was to risk getting shot. Many soldiers were killed or wounded. When it rained, soldiers were trapped in muddy, wet trenches with the task of endless digging as they tried to keep ahead of the floodwaters. When winter approached, there was more and more rain, and the trenches of both the German army and the British army were wet, cold, miserable mud holes. As the soldiers huddled in their miserable trenches, they began to wonder about the enemy soldiers so close by. Bored soldiers shouted at each other back and forth between the trenches, calling names and taunting one another. Each side sang patriotic songs and folk songs to remind them of home. The two armies were close enough to hear one another's music. Always there were the rifles and the machine guns firing at any sign of movement outside the trench. Back home, people in Germany and Britain thought often of their soldiers. German families sent their soldiers packages of gifts, letters, and photos. They also sent Christmas trees to the soldiers, who put them on top of the sandbags protecting the fronts of the trenches. The British saw the Christmas trees and wondered if some kind of surprise attack was being planned. They watched and waited. The British people also sent letters, candies, and gifts to their soldiers. Each one received a small brass box embossed with a profile of Princess Mary of England. The box was full of cigarettes. This was before we knew how dangerous they were, and had a card inside saying, "With best wishes for a happy Christmas and a victorious New Year from the Princess Mary and friends at home." Christmas Eve arrived in 1914, and soldiers on both sides opened their packages in the muddy trenches and wished with all their hearts to be home again. They began singing carols and making merry as one can be in a trench, when something extraordinary happened. Someone began to sing Silent Night in German, or perhaps it was Come All Ye Faithful in English. In any event, the soldiers on the other side joined in the singing. The songs of the two armies, sung in two different languages, blended together in the starry night. Soon, a German soldier emerged from his trench. Everyone held his breath, but no one fired. He had a sign that said, "Merry Christmas, we not shoot, you not shoot." It wasn't long before a British soldier made his way into no man's land, then another and another. Soon all the soldiers had climbed out of the trenches and were greeting one another, enemy greeting enemy in the middle of no man's land. Officers tried to forbid this from happening. Embodying the Christmas spirit of peace and goodwill, the men traded candy, swapped buttons from their uniforms, and showed one another pictures of families from back home. Someone even started a soccer game using an old ball with helmets to mark the goalposts. The unplanned Christmas truce happened all along the 500-mile battlefront. That's from here to New York City. Whether it lasted a few hours or a few days, it gave each man pause as he learned that the enemy was a human being like himself. It was a time when the spirit of love and joy reigned supreme even in the midst of the battlefield. In Love's Labour's Lost, Shakespeare writes, "When love speaks, the voice of all the gods makes heaven drowsy with the harmony." Christmas carols brought enemy soldiers together in love on that Christmas Eve long ago. It was music and the common human reaction to it, love, that started this truce. What Christmas music connects you to what you love? Will this love change you and the world around you? How will you experience and make music this season? What memories of deeply held values will music stir? In the coming days, when you're singing Christmas carols, whether you're unconsciously following along with the piped-in music in the grocery store or performing with the choir, sing with gusto. Share the love that song brings to this Christmas season and spread joyful peace wherever you go. Thank you.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
So I have a reading today called "In Celebration of the Winter Solstice." Do not be afraid of the darkness. Dark is the rich, fertile earth that cradles the seed, nourishing growth. Dark is the soft night that cradles us to rest. Only in darkness can stars shine across the vastness of space. Only in darkness is the moon's dance so clear. There is mystery woven in the dark, quiet hours. There is magic in the darkness. Do not be afraid. We are born of this magic. It fills our dreams that root, unravel, and reweave themselves in the shelter of the deep, dark night. The dark has its own hue, its own resonance, its own breath. It fills our soul, not with despair, but with promise. Dark is the gestation of our deep and knowing self. Dark is the cave where we rest and renew our soul. We are born of the darkness, and each night we return to the deep, moist womb of our beginnings. Do not be afraid of the darkness, for in the depth of that very darkness comes a first glimpse of our own light, the pure inner light of love and knowing. As it glows and grows, the darkness recedes. As we shed our light, we shed our fear and revel in the wonder of all that is revealed. So, do not rush the coming of the sun. Do not crave the lengthening of the day. Celebrate the darkness, here and now, a time of richness, a time of joy.
There are days we wish would never end because they are so wonderful. And there are days that cannot end too soon, for they are so hard. Sorrow is the mortar between our happiness. We take this time to recognize those good days and those hard ones. You are now invited to come to the front and light a candle or place a shell or river stone in the fountain. If you're online, please feel free to enter your personal joys or sorrows in the chat box. We know that a sorrow shared is a burden lightened, and a joy professed is happiness brightened. As our friends come forward, let us sing our compassion to them with hymn number 123, Spirit of Life.
I'll light one more candle in honor of all of those joys and sorrows that are just not ready to be shared yet. Will you all please join me in the spirit of prayer, reflection, and meditation? Spirit of love, of hope, and of life, this season is wonderful. This season is complicated. This season can be hard. May we approach each day holding on to that which gives us hope and committed to being a light in a darkened world. For all of those joys and celebrations and laughter and fun that come at this time of year, we are grateful. And we also know this time of year can be difficult, especially with those who are missing those they once shared it with. This season is wonderful. This season is complicated, and may we embrace it all, because it all is life. In the name of all that is holy, amen.
We have some musings for you today on the winter holidays. I will begin. My question was, does Islam have a winter holiday? The short answer is no. So we are in the midst of our winter holiday celebration, and the worship team thought we'd take this opportunity to reflect on how many of the faith traditions we look to around the world for inspiration celebrate this time of year. I'm leading off our review with Islam, projected to be the most widely held faith on the planet by the end of the 21st century. Many years ago, I purchased holiday stamps around November, 3 types which depicted Christmas, Hanukkah, and Eid. As Christmas and Hanukkah are celebrated in December, I assumed, yeah, I know, that Eid was also incorrect. In fact, there's more than one Eid. There are 2 that I know of. Actually, I've seen a 3rd one too. For those of you whose spiritual paths are informed by Islam, please forgive any inaccuracies or mispronunciations. My learning continues. Eid al-Fitr, or the Festival of Breaking the Fast, is the celebration that concludes Ramadan, the Islamic holy month of fasting. It was celebrated April 20 to 23rd this year. Eid al-Adha is celebrated on the 10th day of Dhu al-Hijjah, where the Hajj pilgrimage, or when the Hajj pilgrimage takes place, and it lasts for 4 days. Muslims may perform an act of zakat and friendship. Zakat, I believe, is considered charity or giving to the community. Zakat and friendship by slaughtering a sheep and distributing the meat to family, friends, and to the poor. Muslims are also encouraged to be especially friendly and reach out to one another during this period. Eid al-Adha was celebrated June 28th to 30th. There are a number of other Muslim holidays throughout the year, including the Prophet Muhammad's birthday, celebrated this year on October 8th. The Islamic calendar is a lunar calendar, so the Gregorian calendar dating of holidays do shift a bit from year to year, but none of those holidays is held in December. The Muslim faith does count numerous honored prophets and teachers within its tradition, and one of those is Jesus of Nazareth. So we still get to say hello to a winter holiday through the window of Islam with this poem by the Muslim Sufi mystic Rumi. It is entitled, "There's Nothing Ahead." Lovers think they're looking for each other, but there's only one search. Wandering this world is wandering that, both inside one transparent sky. In here, there is no dogma and no heresy. The miracle of Jesus is himself, not what he said or did about the future. Forget the future. I'd worship someone who could do that. On the way, you may want to look back or not, but if you can say, there's nothing ahead, there will be nothing there. Stretch your arms and take hold the cloth of your clothes with both hands. The cure for pain is in the pain. Good and bad are mixed. If you don't have both, you don't belong with us. When one of us gets lost, is not here, he must be inside us. There's no place like that anywhere in the world. The words of Rumi.
Good morning. In case we haven't met yet, my name is Stacy Kitt, and this is one Junitarian's Reflections on Hanukkah 2023. I have been asked to talk to you about Hanukkah because while I've been a UU since 2001, I am also Jewish. I have no formal Jewish education. I have been to temple for other people's weddings and bar mitzvahs, but I have never gone for my own spiritual or religious reasons. I identify as a Jew in the way that other people identify as Greek or Italian or Irish. I was not bat mitzvahed, I don't speak Hebrew, but I do make a mean potato latke. Sometimes I say specifically that I'm a Junitarian, as opposed to saying that I'm a UU Jew, because the Jewish part of me came first. I was born a Jew. The UU part came when, as an adult, I freely chose this religion. And while this is the community of my spirit and my heart, I am still also a Jew. I have heard it said that most Jewish holidays can be summed up in this way. They tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. Hanukkah is one of those holidays. The Hanukkah story arose around 200 BC at a time when Judea, also known as the land of Israel, was under the control of a line of Syrian kings. Historically, Syrian Jews had been allowed to worship their own God and live according to the rules of their religion. But a new king came to power who outlawed the Jewish religion. The Jewish people were told they could not keep the Sabbath, they could not keep kosher, and they could not circumcise their sons. Jews were ordered to worship the Greek gods as the Syrians did. The Jews refused. So the Syrian king sent an army that descended upon Jerusalem, massacring thousands of people and desecrating the city's temple, the holiest place for Jews at that time, by erecting an altar to Zeus and sacrificing pigs on it. The Jews were given two choices, conversion or death. It didn't take long for Jews under the leader named Judah Maccabee to rebel and drive the Syrians out of Jerusalem. Judah called on his followers to cleanse the temple, build a new altar, and to relight the menorah. The original menorah had 7 branches that represented both the 6 days it took God to create the universe, with the 7th central branch representing the day on which God rested. This is also the origin of the Jewish Sabbath. The 6 outside branches also represented the 6 realms of secular knowledge: physics, philosophy, astronomy, medicine, music, and mathematics, all of which were directed towards the center branch, which represented God, Torah, and spirituality. This configuration symbolized the belief that society could not rest on secular knowledge alone. Religion was central and essential to Jewish life. The menorah was meant to be an eternal light, always burning. So how did we get to the more familiar 9-branch menorah? That's the Hanukkah story that you may know. The temple was reclaimed and cleansed, and the people wanted to relight the menorah, but there was only enough holy oil to keep the lamp burning for 1 night, and it would take 8 nights before the supply was replenished. Though only enough for 1 night, the oil lasted 8 nights, and the lamp remained lit until a new supply of oil arrived. The rabbis at the time decided that it was a miracle that the lamp had burned for 8 nights. That's why Hanukkah menorahs have 9 candles, 1 for each of those 8 nights, and a 9th to light the rest. If you are one who believes in miracles, you have to admit that this is a pretty humble miracle, especially compared to a virgin birth or a chorus of singing angels. Truth be told, my UU heart does not believe in miracles, large or small. I envision a more logical explanation. I picture ever strong, ever resourceful Jewish women sneaking into the temple and supplementing the holy oil with cooking oil and other oils that desert people would have had on hand, keeping the light burning until more holy oil arrived. Hanukkah always falls during the darkest part of the darkest season of the year, when there is both minimal sunlight and minimal moonlight. And this year, we are all looking out into yet another kind of darkness. You don't have to go very deep into your news feed to read that both anti-Semitism and anti-Islamic sentiment are on the rise as a result of the war between Israel and Hamas. Jews and Muslims both are afraid to openly practice their religions for fear of violence. It is into this darkness that I light Hanukkah candles. I light candles to banish the darkness and as a reminder that no matter how dark the world may feel, we should never lose hope, because each of us can bring light into the world.
So I'm gonna need some help from Angels on High with this one. So you guys can sing the Gloria in Excelsis Deo for me, and I'll sing the Little Shepherd Boy part. So help me out, would you please? Angels we have heard on high, singing sweetly through the night, and the mountains in reply, echoing their great delight. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why these songs of happy cheer? What glad tidings did you see? What glad tidings did you hear? See him in a manger laid, whom the angels praise above. Mary, Joseph, lend your aid, and we raise our hearts in love. Nice.
My personal spirituality journey has taken me to the road of the sacred feminine, and I try to honor the wheel of the year. In that spirit, I'm going to read for you all my solstice wish. My solstice wish for you this year is this: that your feet and your heart stay warm. Don't let the world make you cold. That you know how strong you are and that you stop doubting yourself. That you are able to feel at home, safe, and loved inside of your own skin. That you find your purpose in life and that you go for it with everything that you are. You were put here for a reason. My wish is that you make time to enjoy the little things in life. Breathe them in. Surround yourself with good people, bright souls that make you feel wanted and loved. and know that you are worth loving for exactly who you are. Let me repeat. You are worth loving for exactly who you are.
The following is the words and music are by David Silverthorne and some guy named Jerry Winsett. I want you to know I was strictly forbidden from singing it. Oh, God, I love you people. The season is upon us. There's joy in the air, opening presents, kneeling in prayer, music and wonder for all girls and boys. Merry holiday of your choice. Boy, it's hard not to sing that. Some light 7 candles, black, red, and green. Some light a menorah. Some light up a tree. Whatever traditions you may rejoice, merry holiday of your choice. We all come together in friendship and joy, putting differences aside, to celebrate peace on earth and unity worldwide. As we sit at our tables of tasty delights, let's raise a glass of cheer, a toast to love and happiness every day of the year. We gather with family and ones we adore, remembering the past and those gone before. So many reasons to lift up your voice. Merry holiday of your choice. As we sit at our tables of tasty delights, let's raise a glass of cheer. May we all find love and happiness every day of the year. Happy holiday of your choice. Joyous holiday of your choice. Merry holiday of your choice.
Our next hymn is number 1061 in your teal hymnal, entitled For So the Children Come. I will do the narration, and please follow along with the choir as they sing as we all sing the response. And we will remain seated. It is a lovely meditative thing. For so the children come, and so they have been coming, always the same way they come, born of the seed of a man and a woman. Each night a child is born, is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping. Each night a child is born, is a holy night. No angels herald their beginnings, no prophets predict their future courses. No wise men see a star to show where to find the babe that will save humankind. Each night a child is born, is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for worshiping, a time for worshiping. Each night a child is born, is a holy night. Yet each night a child is born is a holy night. Fathers and mothers sitting beside their children's cribs feel glory in the sight of new life beginning. They ask, where and how will this new life end? Or will it ever end? Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time of singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping.
Thanks to the dedication and hard work of our Share the Plate team, this week's Share the Plate goes to the Good Shepherd Center. Many of us have been busy shopping and wrapping gifts, and as our nights have turned colder, many others in our community were needing a hot meal and a warm place to sleep. Thankfully, the Good Shepherd Center exists to meet those needs. In this past year, Good Shepherd provided more than 270,000 meals to over 3,000 of our neighbors. 333 men, women, and children were sheltered, and 165 people returned to permanent housing, truly ending their homelessness. It is unimaginable what would happen in our community without this much-needed organization. They really are the good shepherds among us. Let's support this work of this outstanding organization and give generously this holiday season. If you are contributing by check, please put STP in the memo field and today's date. You can also give directly on our website. Would the ushers please come forward to take the collection? Okay. So many people were part of putting this service together today, and to all, we thank them. So that's, of course, our UU CWNC choir, with their choir director, Andrew Hurst, Diane Halley on piano, Martha Brophy on French horn, and Ed Brophy on guitar and Zoomberger. We also had Leslie O'Connor, who did our reading for the children. We have Amelia and Jasmine in the religious education room. We have the greeters, Paul and Becky Schreiber. The welcome table was Eileen Barley. Flowers were provided by John Grigsby and Sylvia Quinn. And the hospitality team has been preparing Soup Sunday in Dobkin Hall for us. I think that's it. I mentioned Ed Brophy was working on Zoom.
Yeah, I'm still back here.
Yep, he's still back here. How are you, Jerry?
Our closing words today are by Howard Thurman, an African-American theologian, educator, and civil rights leader. When the song of angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to free the prisoner, to rebuild nations, to bring peace among the people, to make music in the heart.
Let us extinguish our chalice with the words printed in the order of your service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now, let us rise as you're willing and or able and join hands in our shalom.